Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, my friends. Oh, my word, I'm a hot mess. Welcome to Wednesday. Welcome to Wednesday night. Welcome to Desserts with the Diva, whatever we want to call it. Welcome to your 60 minutes of friendly fun with me. It has been a day, y'all. It has been a day. Andy, you found the doohickey. You found it. Thank you, Andy. Look what I found. Yep. Lissa's here. Andy's here. Paulette is here. Hello, my friends. It was a beautiful day here in West Virginia, chilly, and the leaves are slowly changing. Our leaves are not slowly changing. Our leaves have changed. This past week has been the most glorious autumn week ever. It's just been absolutely stunning. And we went to the Minnesota Arboretum over the weekend, and it was just, if you've seen the pictures either on the thumbnail of that video or my Instagram post, like just, oh my gosh, the crispness of autumn, just absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You're not a mess. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, but I am a little bit of a mess, but that's okay. That's okay. We're here. I've got my you had me a pumpkin spice lattes shirt on. So it's a fall day and it has been a busy day. Oh, the pumpkins were awesome too. It's a whole thing. They always have things happening there. And like art exhibits, and last time we were there was a glass pumpkin display. This time it was like it was a scarecrow display. It was actually what was on display when we were there this past weekend. And it's always something. There's going to be a light show in a couple of weeks. Like really stinking cool stuff. Really cool stuff. So, spicy disaster. Right. That's me. Spicy disaster. Oh, but we're here. We're here. The reason that I'm like this, is because hormones, but also I just finished. Look what I have, y'all. 2023 Powersheets in my hot little hands. I literally, as soon as not as soon, I had to, of course, do my nails because my whole video is like a down facing shot. So I had to do my video or my nails and then wait for the mailman and then open the stuff, get myself organized. And then my video was like not really prepared. It was okay, let's look at like my real-time reactions for all of this. For those of you that have no idea what the heck I'm talking about, this is the goal setting planner that I use every year. And today was launch day for the 2023 version. It is mind-boggling to me how light and small this feels. Like in real time as I'm sitting here going, oh, it feels very different from I have piles of stuff around me. You guys, it's out of control. This feels so much bigger. This green one. This is my current one. And so I went through, I did all the filming, all of the things, all the comparisons. And I'm just like, and editing. And I edited the whole freaking almost half an hour video too before I ran downstairs to have dinner to come back and talk to you guys. It I'm just irritated that it couldn't come one day earlier. One day earlier. Anyway, it's neither here nor there. It's done. Launch day has happened. My video will either be up late tonight or tomorrow. So anyway, how are y'all doing? How are you, my friends? Let's talk about some highs and lows that we've had in the last week. My high for sure was definitely going to the auditorium, the Arboretum over the weekend. It was, like I said, absolutely stunning, and you guys have seen the bits and pieces of it. It was glorious. And also had a really great group coaching call last night. We only had one member that was able to attend, so it was a one-on-one coaching call last night, but it was still a wonderful conversation. And even though I was feeling very tired when I got there, I was so energized by the end of it, and it just made me so stinking happy. Oh, they did talk about how they made it. I'm trying not to judge it too harshly before I see it. Yes. So here's what I will say. Friends who because I want to talk about Powersheets and address any questions you might have or anything like that. But my ask is this. If I talk to you about Powersheets tonight, promise me you'll still go watch the video that I decided to put effort into anyway, even though launch day is over. And it is what it is. But I'll chat with you about some of my thoughts tonight, for sure. I got to bed by 7:45 and got more than 9 hours of sleep. That is absolutely a high. That 100%. That's amazing. That is "Oh, you must have had a fabulous day today. Did you feel good?" Because that's game-changing sleep right there, especially if it's not something you get very often. That's awesome, Lissa. What is my low? I mean, my low is just that I've been PMSing for 3 days, and I'm just like, let's go. Come on. I would like this to be over, please, so I can get back to my regularly scheduled programming." So that's where we're at right now. I'm riding the high of the hormones, and I'm just like, which it just makes everything worse, you know? Like, I'm the thing that I'm already grumpy about, I'm grumpier about, and it just I've refused to watch any of oh, that's so sweet. That's so sweet. Um, it's yeah. So here's what I'm gonna say. And if you all have other things, highs and lows you want to share, things like that, great, share them. But here's what I will say, and I say this in the video too. I thought I would be angrier about things than I was. So I think a lot like I've been admittedly very bitter and not excited about this launch. None of the covers actually spoke to me. I just felt like everything felt much more neutral and kind of drab to me. And don't get me wrong, if you're somebody that is into that, great. Awesome for you. It's not me. There's a reason that I am an Erin Condren girl because the color that Erin Condren offers is absolutely amazing. And I love all of the colors. And the problem is not even that it's just that there's no color, but even the well, there's a lot of no color, but wherever there is color, it's color that I don't even like. Like that's the real kicker. Like this whole peach and like this brown neutral tabbies, like no. I'm not here for it. I'm not here for it at all. However, I was able to put my bitterness aside because I'm bitter about the colors and like color to me is evidently really really important. And so I was bitter about the colors and then I was upset that the affiliate stuff didn't get sent out in time for me to actually be able to do a launch day video, which is like literally my entire content calendar for the month had 2 dates where things needed to go out on a specific day, and today was one of them, and it is the fault of the company that I didn't get to do it on time. And so I was just mad about it, and my hormones heightened everything, so I was even more mad about it. So I was just basically I was just angry at the whole Powersheets launch, right? But once I finally sat down and turned the camera on, and I was like, all right, we're gonna leave, we're gonna leave the bad mood somewhere else, and we're just gonna look at this objectively. I'm not actually as mad about it. I'm still mad about the colors. I'm still absolutely mad about the colors, and there are a couple things in here that I react to in real time. I'm like, "Oh, that's ridiculous." But a lot of the changes I actually don't hate. So, like, some of the things that they culled, some of the things they removed, some of the layouts they changed, I was like, "All right, I that's fine." Or they got rid of, like, the Mad Libs looking page where, like, you fill in things from other pages that you've already filled in. I didn't miss that page at all. They changed the seasonal planning layout, and I didn't care 'cause I show you in last year's, I didn't even touch that page. So, like, it's fine. Whatever. So actually, a lot of the changes I'm good with. It's fine. It's just the aesthetics that made me angry. Which is a good thing. It's a good thing that like that's really the only issue. Because the content in and of itself, and granted, I didn't do like the deep dive of like let me do the prep work and figure out how just how thorough it still is. But at a quick flip through that I did on the video, I don't feel like it's necessarily lacking in anything. So I don't know it content-wise. Content-wise. There are aesthetic things that I would prefer changed, but content-wise, I don't feel like it's lacking anything. So that's good. Low in the last week is cold feet. High is my favorite carer. Told me she's going to be at mine on Christmas Day. Oh, lovely. It is so wonderful when you get to be with caregivers that are your favorites on holidays and special days. Yes, yes. My period started today, so I'm not feeling super great. And I've been hit with several blah things. Repair shop broke my phone, not allowed to wear contacts, and I don't see well with my glasses. Ugh. One thing after another. I sat on my porch yesterday and just enjoyed God's word. I love that. Oh, God's word and world. That's awesome. That is a great way. That's a great way to start today. Start the day. I sat out on the patio yesterday afternoon and it was going great until little freaking bugs? What are the little black ones that at first I was like, am I getting bitten by something? Or I don't know if I'm getting bitten by the bugs or if they're just landing on me. And I'm gonna be real impressed, like pat on my back for my CMT nerves if I can register when these little stupid bugs land on me. Because they're just little black dots. That's all they are. I don't know if they're no-see-ums or if they're really, really tiny mosquitoes or what the heck they are, but they kept landing on me and I kept swatting at them and I probably killed a handful of them. And like I probably went through like 16 or 17 different versions of these bugs. One of them climbed into my shoe. I felt all of them, which I thought was awesome actually. But also I'm like, I'm not gonna freaking sit out here if these bugs are just gonna keep landing on me. So I had to go inside, which is a bummer. But hanging out outside and spending time in God's word in God's world is a wonderful, wonderful way to start the day. I love that. I love that. So for today's Q&As, I didn't actually go through and write in all of the questions and the questions, not the answers, the questions. But I have a couple of questions that I can answer. And I can also, if anybody has anything about the Powersheets they want to talk about, we can do that. I don't know. Alyssa might be the only one on here who's a Powersheets user, actually. The bugs, yes. Freaking bugs. The freaking bugs. What else did I want to say about the Powersheets? I remember. The one thing I want to say, because, oh my gosh, hang on. Because if people are ordering things and whatnot, I want them to know my opinions. And I don't know if the video is going to publish tonight or tomorrow. The wild card pack. This is what the wild card pack looks like, y'all. The wild card pack looks like I could have printed it out myself. There is no color. There's no color on this sucker whatsoever. And it's in like, there's supposed to be color here. It's grayed out. Gray is not the color it's supposed to be. Look at the beautiful blue. Like I didn't, and the sizes are different. The sizes are different. So this is last year's. This is this year's. They're much smaller. But how much prettier does the one with the blue look? It's one line of color. And the reason that I paid for the wild cards was not to get a black and white version that I could print out myself. It was to get the one with the color detailing that I couldn't get myself. So if you're going to get the wild cards and you have a printer at home, don't bother. It's $10, but don't bother. Because it's just not worth it. I'm sad. I was saddened by it, very much so. You'll see more of that in the video because I'm disappointed in real time. So they work with the season by season. Oh, okay. That, fine. It's not even the size that I'm mad about. It's the color that I'm mad about. The only thing that the size really hinders is, let's see, can I find one? Not even going to be able to find the page I need here. The only thing it really hinders is like the perpetual calendar. There were 2 instances on here that like it's stupid because the perpetual calendar now has to be on 2 pages because it only fits 6 months. So that's a little irritating, but it's the color. Like how much prettier is this fun list? And this page, it's a little detail. But the color makes such a big difference to me. So I was really disappointed in that. And then I also got all of the quick start guides. I actually do think these are pretty cool. I do think these are pretty cool. If you can get them for less than $5 a piece, because you can buy one for $5. They're not worth it to buy for $5. But if you can get the set, or even if you can pick the ones that you really need help with goal setting on, and get the 3 for $10, they'd be worth it too. But because they have in here big goals, so like yearly goal suggestions, monthly action item ideas, weekly action item ideas, daily action item ideas, and a whole list of books and stuff relevant to the topic. So it's very cool. I do like those a lot. That's why the new version has more pages than the old one. Yeah. Yep. Because there's, I think, 2. So there's at least 2 extra pages because they needed to split up a couple of things. So yeah, if anyone has any questions about the Powersheet stuff, ask away, but you'll see the full throttle of my thoughts in the video that goes up. But ultimately, here's where I'm at. I'm not as mad. I'm not as mad. And I'm going to use the tool and we're going to see how I like the tool and the prep work and whatever. And on Saturday, my Moxie Life stuff shows up. So I will be able to do that the day that it's supposed to be done, which is awesome. And in that, I am reviewing a daily planner and the companion notebooks and a couple of other like accessory type things. But so I'm going to sit down and really have like a heart to heart with myself about like goal planning. And like I've already started thinking about goals for next year. I think I figured out what my phrase of the year is going to be for 2023. And it was inspired by something I was watching today. I'm a member of, I decided to join because I was able to find it for like $20 off or something for per month. The College of Confidence, which is something somebody has been harassing me to join forever. But because I saw this sale and because I know that I'm going to slow down with work and stuff come November and December and be able to like spend a lot of time reflecting and working on myself, I was like, you know what? Let me just try it for a couple months. And if I hate it, I'll stop and it's fine. And so I was taking a course in there today that was, oh my gosh, what course was it? Self-sabotage, how to stop self-sabotage. And one of the things that was mentioned is this Trish Blackwell is the owner of the College of Confidence. And she was talking about her tattoo that she has on her thigh. And it says Joie de vivre, which means the enjoyment of life in French words, French, the enjoyment of life. But like so much so that like it's an action. It's not just like a thing, but like the French really take it to heart. Joie de vivre like is actually a really well-known phrase. And as she was talking about it, I was like, hmm, hmm, maybe maybe that's supposed to be like maybe that can be my word of the year. Joie de vivre. Enjoyment of life, because if I put that at the forefront of my year, if joie de vivre is the ultimate goal, the word, the phrase that's supposed to encompass my 2023, what kind of magical things can I make happen if joie de vivre is the focus? Interesting, huh? So I was like, that I have to mull it over a little bit more, but I've already been thinking about like, what do I want next year to look like? What kind of goals do I think I'm even going to set? Which is ridiculous because I should be focusing on the goals that I'm trying to reach now, right? Not the ones that I need to set in 2023. I've still got 2.5 months until that. And like, when do we set goals? Like the middle of December? So I've got 2 months until I really need to start thinking about it, but it's always in the back of my head as like, what do I want to do next? What do I want to do next? What do I really want to focus on? Um, because I'm still in that funk, that pandemic funk hasn't like it hasn't been shaken. And so that's why I'm like, I wonder if it was less about this year was Transform 2022. Oh, and that reminded me the other thing that really made me sad. This is this year's word of the year card. This was last year's word of the year card. Why take the details away? Why? Look at how boring this is compared to this one. Tell me why. Anyway. So yeah, I'm thinking a lot about 2023 already. Any hoozle. Let's see. I was going to get the entire set even though I don't need family. So family has a lot of things in it. And actually, for those that are interested in family, it has a section for with kids, with your spouse, pregnant, postpartum, and family as an overall whole, right? And to be fair, to play devil's advocate, Lissa, you could still use family goals. You still have a family. So it might not be a bad thing to actually consider making them a goal in some way. Not a major way, not a life-changing way or something, but actually getting them involved in just making an effort in something because why not, right? Life gives you lemons, make lemonade type of thing. Um, la pour capa. La pour capa? I don't know what that means. Looking at some goal setting things planned for Patreon community during the first 3 weeks. Yeah. And and I'm already thinking about it too. I'm already thinking about it, but I also have no idea what I want it to look like, which is why I think when Trish said Joie de vivre, like it really spoke to me because all of a sudden I was like, oh, that takes like part of what I'm thinking. You guys can get like the inside scoop. Part of what I'm thinking for 2023 is like fun. Like not just like I don't even know how to explain it, but like every year I set these goals that are like, lose I didn't do lose X number of pounds, but like as an example, hit these metrics, do these things, hit these milestones, blah 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 blah. And not many of my goals are geared towards fun. And I'm like, what if I put fun at the center of everything instead of achievement? You know what I mean? And not like hitting goals, even fun goals would still be achieving something, but taking a lot of that pressure off and actually being like, "Hey, can you just get back to yourself?" And like now that we're like pretty much, even though I've been hearing on TikTok all day from all the doctors, like, "Oh, there's another COVID wave coming." Great. Awesome. But like we'll by 2023, we'll really be functioning in more of a post-pandemic world, right? So it'll really be time to get things back on track and actually get in the community. And like we're doing it now, but like really truly like 2023 is like we know we're not going anywhere. We know this is the house we're staying in. We know that this is the place we're going to be for a while. Let's make things happen. And I feel like Joie de vivre is just like the enjoyment of life. Like what can I do for health goals that are enjoyable? That takes the pressure off, but still makes things happen. Or with work and YouTube and coaching, what can I do? Je de vivre, baby. Like, what do I do with that? Instead of being like, oh, I have to hit this metric. Oh, I want to get this many subscribers. Oh, I want to do this thing. That's already on my heart for like, what can I do to just switch it up? Switch it up, because being serious about goals has been not working as well. So what if I just get not serious, but more lighthearted about it, more fun about it? Yes, fun. Exactly. Exactly. The French for why not? Oh, health is going to be one of the big things I will pursue next year. That's excellent. You should start now though, Paulette. Don't wait till next year. What can you do now? It doesn't have to be anything big, but like if health is the thing, that's one of the biggest downfalls with health goals and wanting to lose weight or whatever it is. They're like, "Oh, I'll wait till Monday. I'll wait till next month. I'll wait till next year." Why? You could literally knock out 2.5 months if you do something for yourself tomorrow. If you start tomorrow, then all of a sudden you have more. You've already got that ramp going and it doesn't have to be anything profound. Are you a terrible vegetable eater? Maybe eat some vegetables every day. Are you a terrible water drinker? Make it a goal to drink 80 ounces of water. I almost said 80 gallons. Do not drink 80 gallons of water. Um, Things like that. Is it your goal to be able to get up and just go for a walk for 10 minutes? Just 10 minutes. You can do those things now. You do not have to wait till January 1st. You can absolutely hit the ground running January 1st, but that's no reason not to start making changes now because you'll be able to have a couple of new habits already implemented by Jan 1 if you start now. Right? So I would encourage you to do that on 7 when I can get 8 for 20. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. They're definitely, yeah, 100%. They're 3 for 10. Yeah. Yeah, 3 for 10. Anyway, yeah. Questions. If y'all have questions that you want me to answer, feel free to ask them, but I will go ahead and pull up my question. Let's start with the anonymous link one because there's only 2. Um, if you could bring back a diet food or a good food from your old WW days that was discontinued, what would it be? I knew the answer immediately. Immediately I knew what it would be. Fiber 1. First of all, don't even get me started on the fact that Fiber One brownies should still be 90 calories and contain real sugar. I mean, I would bring those back too. But the saving grace is Aldi actually sells a version of those that are still made with regular sugar. But Fiber One used to have cereal, and they used to have a chocolate cereal. And I bought that cereal all the time. It was little squares, little crispy squares that were about yay thick and yay big, or maybe a centimeter square. And they were high fiber chocolate cereal. And I would eat them with milk. I would eat them with almond milk. I would mix them into my yogurt. I would eat them as a snack. I just like literally just straight out of the bag or measured out or whatever. I loved this chocolate Fiber One cereal. And I'll be darned if I don't see it anywhere. And I am 98% sure that it is just not in existence anymore. Fiber1.com. But like that was one of the things I vividly remember eating a lot of. See here, it says cereals. They have honey clusters and Fiber One original brand cereal. That's it. They took away my delicious, delicious. Now I'm on their website and I'm like, oh, the Supreme Brownies. I forgot about those. Oh, do these still exist? Oh, and they do so xanthan gum. I'm looking for the sweetener. Because I liked these a lot too, only they were an extra point or 2. But for 110 calories, I can eat those now. Yes, I should go back and eat those and get those. Um, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. I was a pro when I was losing weight on Points Plus. I would eat multigrain Cheerios dry all the time. I packed them in a Ziploc bag and I ate them like a toddler. They were my snack. I would, eat them with my hands. Captain Crunch, Apple Jacks, what are some other ones that I would do? Captain Crunch, Apple Jacks, Corn Pops. Do Corn Pops even still exist? Corn Pops? Um, yeah, I absolutely have eaten plenty of cereals dry. Lucky Charms, occasionally Lucky Charms. My favorite rhyme is I'd rather have a bottle in front of the box for me. I'd rather have a drink than a hole in the head. My dad says something about like, I'd rather have this than a hole in the head. Yep. Kashi Golden Crunchy Bars, Hostess 100 calories straw. Oh, I remember those. Yes, 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 yes. I remember those. The 100-calorie cupcakes. Does Hostess still make the 100-calorie cupcakes at all? Not that like the 100-calorie cupcakes have gone, or the 100-calorie the Hostess. All products, in my opinion, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I am not. All products, especially junk food, has gone downhill in quality. Like, I think of my good old fashioned Pop Tart. When I had Pop Tarts as a child, when I had Pop Tarts as a child, the s'mores Pop Tarts were full of delicious, gooey, s'morey goodness. And now 60% of the stupid s'mores Pop Tart is graham cracker. There's not any freaking filling in the middle. And I feel like all like Hostess this and whatever, and even my Kit Kats, they all taste different and they all taste not as good. They all taste not as good. Now, it's entirely possible that my palate has matured since I've started doing things like, eating whole foods and vegetables and all those good things, and my body just is not about it anymore. But really, I think the quality of the product has gone down, you know? Oh my goodness gracious. Um, Susan, I see your question. Did I try the lemon cookies yet? No, but here's why. I did not try the lemon cookies because I had a whole bunch of extra cream cheese frosting. So I needed to make something that would allow me to use the cream cheese frosting. So I actually have red velvet is what's active right now. And guess what? They're good. They're very, very good. And with the cream cheese icing, they're just phenomenal. Oh my gosh. I keep them in the refrigerator because I think you have to keep cream cheese frosting refrigerated. But oh my gosh, so good. So they're on my list. They're on my list. And I think they're gonna be one. I can very easily make a quick glaze. But one thing I haven't done yet is try the cake mix cookies as is. I've frosted all of my cake mix cookies so far. So what I want to do is I'm going to just bake them up and see how they turn out dry, just plain. Plain, I guess, is a better term than dry. And see if they're actually flavorful and whatever. So we'll see. But they are on my list. I currently have lemon cake mix and Betty Crocker rainbow chip cake mix in my pantry. So those will be the next two that I try. The 100 calorie strawberry was my favorite because they were 1 point. Where most oh, interesting. Interesting. Wouldn't be mad if they brought back the old oh, let me tell you, I checked Eat Me Guilt Free about 2 weeks ago just to see. I'm like, I wonder if their sales have gone to crap enough where they've decided to change their formula back. Nope. No dice. I would rather have a bottle in front of me than a frontal lobotomy. Ah, that makes a lot more sense. That makes a lot more sense. Ready predictive typing. Yeah, so for sure, the diet food that I miss the most. Like, I'd have to rack my brain and see if there's anything else, but really, truly, I think it's oh, hi, Amberly. Good to see you. Glad to know you're here. I think of all the I'm keep thinking of like, what were the diet foods that I ate? Don't miss Halo Top. Don't miss any like the diet ice creams or anything, but I absolutely miss that Fiber One cereal. 100% miss that Fiber One cereal. Oh man. And I don't know of a replacement either. Although in the grand now if I think about it, since points don't matter, I can probably find a cereal that is comparable. Like, actually, how many calories are in Cocoa Puffs? Like, I could probably find a chocolate cereal that I could mix into my yogurt just fine. And I've just never actually thought about it until this second that I was like, oh, you could just pick a non-fibrous cereal. Imagine that. Things that I'm still learning, you guys. I'm still learning that like there are these things that I could have that actually would probably be in the grand scheme of things healthier choices. Like go get the chocolate cereal to mix into your yogurt instead of having the cookie sometimes. And like those kind of swaps are actually swaps that I haven't considered. Hmm. Chocolate covered pretzel. A Barnes& and Noble chocolate covered pretzel. Yummo. One thing that is not a diet food at all, but I wish still existed because they were one of my favorite splurges to myself ever, is Godiva chocolates. Used to have coconut macaroons that were dipped in chocolate. Oh my gosh. Whenever I was at the mall, that would be like the treat that I picked up for myself while I was shopping. I'd go to Godiva and I'd pick up either a milk chocolate one or a white chocolate one, and they were so good. They were, and I don't think they make them anymore. I can't walk into Godiva and get one anymore. And add hemp seeds and chia. Yeah, exactly. Like mix them into my yogurt and or even, just do a bowl of cereal, but like actually just use regular cereal and use my other fiber additives to get the extra fiber. Hello. What took me so long to think of that? My goodness. There are 390 calories to 100 grams of Cocoa Pops. 390 calories. 100 grams. 100 grams is probably like 4 servings though. 3 servings. Yeah. So excellent. There have been several things recently that I almost turned down, but decided that because I couldn't see a good reason not to, aside from from past rules, that it's not healthy. Yeah. And there's some things, what I'm learning. So, and I journaled about this, and I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but what I'm learning in real time, especially with my lower calorie deficit, is I really need, I'm needing to merge old school Brianna. Like there's a lot of old school Brianna that wasn't wrong. There's a lot of her that was, but there's also a lot of her that wasn't, and a lot of her habits and some of the way she eats. One of the things that I have been doing lately, just because I'm in the middle of Vlogtober and I'm curious like how I used to vlog, I have been going back and watching my old vlogs from like 2017, 2016. Because I've done Vlogtober for a long time and Vlogmas for a long time on and off. And so it's been really interesting to go back and watch what I used to do. Granted, all of my vlogs, for the most part, are me sitting in different places in my condo talking to myself. not actually showing you that I'm doing anything, but also a lot of them were also what I eat to lose weight on Weight Watchers or whatever. But I was, looking at what I ate and sugar-free creamer, which I'm still not going back to, although they're coming out with some flavors that make me want to try, but I don't no, no. I've got my nut pods, so I don't actually need to go out and buy sugar-free creamer because I have a sugar-free creamer. But just some of like the egg whites and the fruit, and this was 1 point, and this was only 5 points, and this I was like, I did have a good thing going. I knew what I was doing. Which ironically was at a time when I wasn't losing any more weight, but I also weighed less than I do now. And so isn't it always this the case where like back then I was like, I need to lose such and such number of weight. And now I'm like, I want to weigh what I weighed in that video. Like why did I decide that I needed to lose weight? I don't know. But like that would have been perfect. Um, but I've been watching a lot of my vlogs lately, all that to say, and and seeing some of the stuff that I've been eating. And I was like, there's a balance that I had back then, and there's a discipline that I had back then that I do not have now. Granted, there are also mindsets that I had back then that I have actively worked to get rid of now. Um, but it's really interesting that there are some things that now I'm thinking of. I'm like, I need to merge these two personalities, the old vlogger Brianna and me. Um, and things like eating cereal instead of like I'm allowing myself to have what I want. I can have chocolate. I can have chocolate. I can have the cookies with the frosting and everything, but I'm also to the point now I'm like I need these cookies with the frosting to get out of my house so I can take some time off from these cookies, and like go back to just like a low key treat, low key, lower calorie, lighter, all of that because it starts to add up over time that you're like, oh, you allow yourself to have the cookies, but if you then sometimes you need to take a step back anyway. Even though you're allowed to have this thing, doesn't necessarily mean you should. Just because it is permissible doesn't mean it's advisable. Um can't remember if that's a Bible verse or not, but it's something along those lines. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And that's kind of where I'm at right now is like I've as I've been busting through my diet mindsets, I've broken through a lot of but I can. But now I'm like, just because you can doesn't necessarily mean that you should, Brianna. So that's where I'm at with that right now. Very reflective and flow's about to come. So I'm in this zone of just like thinking about all the things. All the things. Um let's see. There have been several things recently. We read that 100 grams would be a lot of Cocoa Puffs. Yeah, it sure would. It sure would. In the Patreon, it came up to talk about setting goals and sticking to them, how to set achievable goals. Thank you. How to set achievable goals. Oh boy, oh boy. I will come back to that in a second. 3/4 of a cup, 27 grams, 100 calories. Beautiful. That's not bad at all. Seriously, it's 100 calories for 3/4 of a cup. Why do I not buy Cocoa Puffs? I need to start freaking buying cereal. I have a container of multigrain Cheerios that I purchased months ago and have barely touched. But like fun cereal, why don't I do that? I don't think that would work with me as my cup is a liter size. I have to think back to the wasted times when I was skinny, thinking I was fat. Yeah, yeah. I'm looking at myself in these vlogs, and you want to know what's really interesting? You're just getting all of the word vomit today, guys. I'm sorry. But so one of the things that I thought that was very interesting is as I look at myself in the mirror now, and just the way my body is shaped and whatever, and how it's changed a little bit. But actually, the funny thing is, I looked back and like there was one shot I did in a vlog in like, I don't know, 2017 or 2018 in the mirror real quick. And I looked at me in the mirror and I was like, you know what's hilarious? Even though I'm lighter in that video, the body shape is exactly the same. I have like these hip dips that make my love handles look more prominent than they probably actually are. And it just like it's what makes me very self-conscious about my lower abdomen is because no, even at my skinniest, I can't get a straight line. I got these goofy hip dips, which makes me look like I have muffin top, even when I didn't have muffin top. And I'm just like, my body shape is the exact same. Even lighter, I'm still gonna have that that issue. So it's really something that I'm going to have to get over because clearly it ain't going away. So I thought that was interesting. So I did have a soda a couple months back because I realized the soda and Sour Patch Kids are basically identical nutritionally. So there's no reason to fear soda. Exactly. 100%. Um, and it's weird, right? How some of these things are like, oh yeah, this is allowed. One of the things that I was teaching in my group coaching, I I blew their minds. So I put them in a carb cycle, right? So they have higher carb days now. And so we were talking about they regularly fall short on carbs because, it's when you're trying to break through some diet stuff, it's harder to eat carbs because carbs are demonized. But I was giving them, what they wanted to know what are some things that are exclusively carbs? When you're low on your carb macro, what do you do? And so, of course, the answer is like rice, pasta, bread, rice cakes, things of that nature. But I looked at them and I'm like, you guys know that it's also things like jelly beans, marshmallows, candy corn. And the look on their faces of like, I'm sorry, is my nutrition coach telling me it's okay to eat candy? And I was like, yes, because actually, if you look at these things, the carbohydrates in a piece of bread versus a handful of jelly beans could be the same. So I'm not saying just eat the sugar, but I'm saying if you have the room for a couple extra carbs and you want the candy corn instead of the popcorn, eat the couple pieces of candy corn. And so one of my clients came on the group coaching call last night and she goes, I just had some candy corn. And you know what? It was awesome. And look at that. Look at that. So it's not, it's not overindulge things, but like it's every once in a while you gotta stop and consider, like, oh, I'm looking for carbs. Sometimes eat potatoes and fruit. Sometimes eat a handful of candy corn, you know? Um, I look back at the days of starving myself to be really thin, and I really looked pretty good. Um, Everything is permissible, but not everything is beneficial. Everything is permissible, but not everything builds up. 1 Corinthians 10:23. Yeah. Everything is permissible, but not everything is beneficial. Let me tell you guys what else I've been doing today. Oh my goodness, I'm rambling on, but you know what? A book that I started, it's unscribed, by the way, audiobook. Just for funsies, I've decided to start listening to the Daniel Plan. And wouldn't you know that I don't know, 2 hours into this audiobook maybe, and we haven't even gotten to, like, the talk about fitness and the logistics of it all and the diet side of it or whatever, but if you are a God-loving person, this book is a really great way to get you into the spiritual headspace of why you should be taking care of your body, because your body's not yours. And just listening to the beginning of this book, I was like, "Oh, dang." It's along the same lines of the Made to Crave study that we've done, but, like, oh my gosh. It's the pillars of the Daniel Plan are food, fitness, faith, friends, and there's one other one. I wanna say it's fun, but I don't think it is. But I just gotta tell you that, like, the beginning of the Daniel Plan just kind of put my head in the right space mentally and spiritually to be like, "Oh, this is a great why." Like, this is it really got me thinking. It really got me thinking. So if you are a Christian or spiritual and you need something to kind of try differently, maybe listen to a couple chapters of that book. Like I said, I haven't gotten into any of the logistics of it yet, so I don't actually know what the Daniel Plan is, but could be worth listening to. Um, because we were also conditioned to treat it like a main course. 3/4 of a cup of cereal would make a pretty bland meal, but a few tablespoons, yeah, yeah. Definitely, I've done cereal as a side dish or cereal as a snack, not necessarily as my meal. To start the day, especially. Yes, yes. Cereal on top of yogurt is awesome. For me, it's ingredients. Soda caffeine isn't the same nutritionally as a more natural caffeine source. Right. And it's not the same nutritionally for a lot of us. So like I said, every day that you need 200 carbs, should you go find those carbs in the form of white sugar? No. No, you should not. But on occasion, to keep yourself from feeling restricted and on track, is it okay if you grab a couple mallow creams instead of eating a potato? Yes, It is. But make sure you also have your fiber in check and all those other things in check as well. I actually modified macros for one of my clients last night because she failed to tell me that she has rheumatoid arthritis. And so when I gave her her first high carb day and her carbs were pretty high, I actually looked at her and I was like, how does your body actually respond to really high carbs and sugar and things like that? And she goes, yeah, I was kind of wondering about that. So we actually on the fly modified her macros because all of a sudden I was like, for somebody with your condition, the highest version of high carb day might not actually be the right choice. So let me give you a little more fat and take some of your carbs away so you can still have more carbs, but we also are balancing it out with other nutritional choices as well. And she was very, very happy with that. But yeah, definitely. What are 5 things you cannot leave home without? Great question. Um, so it's definitely not just eat this one thing. Ingredients absolutely matter. Nutritional value absolutely matters. But for the sake of not restricting yourself, a handful of candy corn, it's not going to hurt you any more than a piece of bread. What are 5 things you cannot leave the phone without, leave home without? A chapstick or lip moisturizer, my water bottle, my cell phone. I got the 3. Everything else is kind of negotiable. My wallet, I suppose. Can't really leave home without my wallet and my car keys. Although I can leave home without my car keys because when I leave home with my husband drives. So I don't actually need my car keys then. Walking shoes most of the time. Shoes that I feel comfortable walking in. Be it, my braces are not shoes I feel comfortable walking in. Yes, carbs. I love the macro chart in Jordan Syatt's book. Starburst and Skittles are listed under carbs. Yeah. People don't stop and think about, like, especially when you're on macros, like candy is a carb. Most of it. If you get into the chocolates and stuff, then you get in the fats. But like there are good solid amounts of most delicious foods are under carbs and fat. It's true. It's true. That's why they're the most delicious foods. Made to Crave is where I heard 1 Corinthians 10:23. And never read the book, but I did the actual Daniel fast once. Lasted for a few days. I'm not suggesting a Daniel fast. Not suggesting anybody fasts, but the Daniel plan is a lifestyle. So we'll see. I think it's like, it's mostly plants, mostly lean meats. It's like, it's all God created stuff, right? Not man created stuff, God created stuff. So again, that's all like within reason, but I'm actually more interested in like the spiritual mindset shifts behind this book. So I'm going to keep listening. Um, my doctor that I had years ago did not believe in diets. She believed in everything in moderation, and that would make her a good doctor. Like we said, my doctor looked at me and said, "Can't you just be happy at the weight you're at?" And it was mind-blowing to me. Never had a doctor ask me that before, Um, Amberly's question was about goal setting. And setting sustainable goals. So, oh my goodness, sustainable goals. So the best thing, in my opinion, and this is completely off the cuff without me actually having a chance to think about the answer. To make a goal more sustainable, you got to make it smaller. You got to make it smaller. And so if your goal is to become a marathon runner, you don't just say, I'm going to run a marathon. What do you do? What do you do? What does marathon training look like? Marathon training looks like starting with a 5K and you get used to that. And then as the time progresses, you throw in one long run here. And then you keep doing shorter runs and building your stamina and then another long run. And it's a gradual progression to those 26 miles. It's not just, you know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to run a marathon and you go and run 26 miles. That's not how it works. Believe me, I know. I watched my husband go through the whole thing. So it's smaller, bite-sized type goals. And so obviously, I don't think any of us want to run a marathon, but like if you break everything down, into smaller goals. And I really lean heavily on goals that you can control. And this is a hard one for me because I want to have a weight loss goal of like a certain number. Or it would be really fun to have a YouTube subscriber goal of a certain number. But the reality is with those things, I am not actually in control of any of those numbers. I'm not. I could do everything right on my diet and the scale might not agree. And I fluctuate. And sidebar, because Lissa already brought up Jordan Syatt, and I have this thought every single time I've been watching his stories for the last 2 weeks. If you want the best nutrition advice that I have heard, consistent, It's moderation, it's legit, it's no nonsense. If you're not following Jordan's diet, please follow Jordan's diet. Everything he says, I'm like, "Thank you. Thank you for saying that." It's just so good. It's just so good. And he actually talked about weight fluctuations the other day, and it's like the reason I do daily weighing and versus weekly weighing, because someone asked him, "Why don't you just weigh in weekly?" And he gave the same answer that I give people every single time they ask me. And I was like, "Yes, I'm on the same wavelength as Jordan Syatt." He's full of such good information. But anyway, all that to say, when you have a weight loss goal, let's say my goal is to lose 30 pounds, right? I can say that I want to lose 30 pounds. I could even write that in my Powersheets. I want to lose 30 pounds this year. You're not actually in control of the rate at which you lose, because there are so many different factors that actually play into what the number on the scale says. But what you are in control of in your weight loss journey is, did you work out 4 times this week? Did you hit your 10,000 steps every day? Did you drink your gallon of water? Did you get 7 to 8 hours of sleep? Did you stay within your calorie goal? These are the things that you can control. And thus, in my opinion, these are the things that are more valuable goals to set than I want to lose 30 pounds. That makes sense? So you can make them smaller and sustainable. Let's say you want to be somebody who does 10,000 steps a day, or let's use me as a prime example. And of course, this week with PMS and everything, it's even worse off than it was before, but I'm a great example of this. At the beginning of this month, you may recall that I had the goal of getting 100,000 steps in a week. Evidently, and going back and watching these vlogs and me talking about how, like, once my stretch goal was 18,000 steps. So apparently, at one point 5 or 6 years ago, I was actually at the energy level where I could easily get those 14,285 steps a day. Now, 14,285 steps a day is a lot more daunting for me than it was 5 or 6 years ago. And so not immediately, I gave it a good try, but I realized really quick that that goal is not a sustainable goal for me, and I had to pivot. And I had to go, "You know what? This was a great goal for me to set. I'm proud that I thought I could do this. Maybe we take a different action." Why? Because if I wanted to say, "No, I declare that I'm gonna do this goal," with the understanding that I would regularly fall short, all I'm gonna do is feel like I'm failing, right? If I can't do it day after day after day after day, it's gonna feel like a failure. But if I end up lowering that goal and meeting it more often, I'm going to build that confidence in myself that, oh, look, I can do the thing that I'm setting out to do. So I had to pivot to make a goal smaller, more sustainable. So if you're somebody who's like, I want to do 10,000 steps a day and you currently only get 2,000 steps a day, do not set a goal to get 10,000 steps a day right away. Maybe start by getting 5,000 steps a day. And once you're able to sustainably do that, increase it to 6,000 steps a day and gradually grow and challenge your boundaries without pushing your boundaries so far that you burn out. That's really the key. And what I'm learning, because I'm somebody who wants to set all the goals and push all the boundaries, and I'm slowly realizing that I really shouldn't do that. And so small, reachable, but goals that just pushes a little bit further over your comfort zone instead of all the way in left field, you know? Unfortunately, I'm one of those non-believer types due to being made to go to church. And that's you're still welcome here. That's fine. I welcome everybody here. I appreciate the people that come here understand that this, like, when they're looking at me, they're looking at the Jesus girl, you know? And I love that you still come, even though you know that. And we have differing beliefs there. And that's fine. That's fine. We are allowed to have differing beliefs. Um, so I'm hoping that was a legitimate answer for you, Amberly. I've read the book twice since I came out. When I did the Daniel fast, it was a strict vegan diet. Oh no, I don't think. I mean, it's gonna be no sugar for sure. Which of course I'm against. But like, you can, like any book, pick and choose what works for you. A diet that's 80% the Daniel plan, probably really solid, and you still have 20% of the room for fun. Like, hey, um, I think for me, the idea of goals that you can directly control makes so much sense when it comes to monthly, weekly, daily actions. But I struggle with taking something like that and making it an annual. Interesting. Um, And I understand. But at the same time, like, and I'm gonna explore this because, like I said, I don't know how goal setting is gonna go for me for 2023 based on like what kind of things am I actually thinking about doing. I don't know. So I don't even know what my goals are gonna look like. But for example, my goal, albeit a goal that I'm not achieving very well, but still my goal, my health goal was not lose 30 pounds. It was fat loss phase. That is something I can control. I can control the amount of calories I take in. My coach and I modified our macro, like all of those things, right? Um, all of the things involving the fat loss phase technically within my control. So, on the flip side, now that I have the numbers that I need, the fact that I'm not following them all the time is on me. It's my responsibility. It's not the fault of the plan, you know. But it's something I can control. I can control whether or not I stay on track that day, right? Will you ever make a video about your date night subscription you and Eric do? During your unboxing video, you finally got the copier paper. Oh, so it's not a subscription, it's a book. It's called the Adventure Challenge, and I don't know if I'll make a video about it, and here's why. The whole purpose of the Adventure Challenge is that you don't know what the dates are until you scratch them off. And if I make a video talking about all of the ones that they are, somebody who wants to purchase the Adventure Challenge is going to watch it and have it all spoiled for them. And that's not fun. But I can tell you what it's about. Like I'll do one of the one of the date nights we had was called the Classical Painter, and the date said, like, it gives you guidelines, right? About how much time it's going to take, about how much money it's going to cost, whether it's inside, outside, get a babysitter, do you have to go somewhere or do you stay home, is it going to be messy, are you going to get wet? It gives you like these primary indicators so you can decide based on how much time you have and time of day and all of that. It allows you to make a choice based on best judgment, right? But it doesn't tell you what you're going to do. So the classical painter, what we had to do was we had to get dressed up and we had to get like large canvases, or we ended up using big sheets of paper that my husband happened to have, and art supplies. And we're supposed to get all dressed up, pour ourselves a glass of wine, and turn on a classical music playlist and make portraits of each other. And so I don't remember if I posted the pictures of that or not, but so now hanging in our staircase are two ridiculous looking portraits. One that I drew of my husband in his suit and one that he drew of me in the dress that I wore that night. And like I wore the dress, I put on bright red lipstick, I did my hair, like we jazzed it all up. And we did not know that was the date that we were going to sign up for when we scratched it off. So we scratched it off in the afternoon so we can read the thing, go get the supplies we need, and do the date. And it's so much fun. It's so much fun. There are several options of this book. We have multiple options of this book. There are some X-rated ones. There is a dinner date one, which is a lot of fun. We've only done one dinner date one, but so like you have an idea. There's a scratch off part and there's a mystery recipe. So you can get like you open the thing and you go, okay, this is what we're making tonight. So you can go and get the ingredients. And then when it's time to actually start the date, you scratch off the other part that's like the interactive part of the date, or like the goofy part of the date or whatever while you're cooking the dinner. So there's a date night one, there's an adventure challenge for couples, there's a solo one, there's a friends one, there's a kids one. It's a really cool concept. It's a really cool concept because it keeps things fresh, you know? Um, a goal that I can divisively check off at the end of the year and say, yes, yes, I did that. Lose X pounds thing makes a nicer looking annual goal. Yeah, but you don't have to have nice looking goals. You don't have to have nice looking goals. Um, going through a fat loss phase can be considered a goal. You can check off, yes, you did that. Doesn't have to have a number, you know? Um, let's see. Religion scares the hell out of me. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that feel that way, and it makes me so sad. It makes me so sad. Um, I'm working on being okay with reaching goals and not being as good as when I was the previous week. Last week I hit 101,000 steps. This week I'm just hitting them, but not being an overachiever. And that's okay. Maintenance goals all the way, man. Maintenance goals all the way. They have a bedtime version for kids that I can say. They have a bedtime one too? That's new. That's really cool. That really sounded interesting. Sounds like a black. Yeah, it's really fun. It's really fun. We've really been enjoying them. And I saw one of the prompts, one of the families involved gave me stand in a circle and someone throws marshmallows at you. Interesting. Interesting. I may get the solo one. Yeah, do it. Like, why the heck not? Why the heck not? Where did you get it? So it's literally theadventurechallenge.com. Let me make sure I have the right adventure challenge. The adventure challenge book, start your adventure. There you go. Let me pop a link for you. Not an affiliate link, just a link to the website. They have other ones too. And so what they actually have, you can also buy the camera and and it'll take pictures the right size. So what you do is you take photographs and they're, about this big, and then you can put them in the book. So they have couples edition, the in-bed edition, the family edition, bedtime adventures, that's new to me. They also have an adventure calendar, which is new to me. I've never seen that one before. The couples camera set, connection cards. Oh, they have a connection cards and an in-bed connection cards and a couples edition connection cards. I know nothing about the connection cards. Dinner dates, lunchbox notes, the adventure box subscription. So there is a subscription they have that does a couple, like I think like maybe 10 of the ones in the date night book can be subscription boxes. So if you sign up for the subscription, you will get sent one and it'll say, hey, this is date number 37. And then you do date number 37 when you get the subscription. And then there's the solo edition, and then there's the friends edition. And then you can buy all sorts of different bundles and all sorts of things. It's a fun thing. If you need a gift for the people you don't know who to buy a gift for, like a great anniversary gift, I bought my sister and her husband the date night one for her wedding. Yeah, a lot of fun. You read a part of the story each night and do a little activity. How cute! How cute! Oh, that's fun. About the singles one called FaceTiming someone. I thought it was a solo edition. Yeah, I know nothing about the solo one. But anyway, lots and lots of fun. So if any of you decide to pick any of those up, let me know because they're pretty cool. They're pretty cool. All right, friends, I'm going to let y'all go. I barely got to any of the questions that were submitted. So that's good. We will answer those next week. But yeah, thank you for hanging out with me. I hope you all are having a wonderful week so far. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I will talk to you all again real soon. Take care.